Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Fight the spread and take a stand against coronavirus. Wear a mask in public. Stay at least 6 feet apart from others. And get tested. Join us and fight the spread. Visit scdheck.gov/COVID-19.
Hey there, you're watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by SCDHEC, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Centers, and Palmetto Media Connections. It's Faith Friday. It's a time for motivation, inspiration, and encouragement as we share stories and testimonies of people who have come through a storm, overcome obstacles, achieved their goals and dreams, and learned and grown and matured and gotten just a little bit better at this thing called life. And we do this so your road can be easier also, so you can listen and learn from their mistakes, trials, and accomplishments. And most of all, if they did it, you can too. Today, a young man that I've known and enjoyed as a friend of my son's and an amazing singer who has achieved great success in the not-so-easy music industry. We'll hear his music and some of his story. I Am Leven is next on Coping with COVID. But first, your COVID community updates. Prisma Health is combining some of their COVID vaccine locations, they say, to make the process more efficient, as delays in shipments have caused a shortage in vaccines. Now, beginning February the 22nd, appointments will move from Park Ridge to the Columbia location, and the Richland appointments will move to the Gamecock Park vaccination site. Check the screen for updated COVID vaccine locations and visit prismahealth.com for more information. South Carolina civil rights leader Septima Clark has been honored with a collective coin from the U.S. Mint. She is the only HBCU grad inducted in this series that pays tributes to pioneering individuals and groups. It shows the Benedict grad with an American flag, as you can see, marching with 3 African-American students, illustrating education as a pathway to equality and freedom. The coins are available for purchase from the U.S. Mint. And you can actually get some free food and get back at your ex. It's Hooters Shred Your Ex event this Sunday, Valentine's Day. You can stop by your local Hooters with a picture of your ex, put it through their shredder, or show them a video of you shredding it at home, and Hooters will give you 10 free boneless wings. Last year, 75 people took advantage of the offer in Columbia. Yeah, that's one way to spend your Sunday. I'm Tre Tailor, and you're watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. Listen, if you want the most up-to-date list of times, dates, and locations of COVID listings and vaccines in and around South Carolina, visit scdheck.gov. Now, you can also visit gogettested.com. In several states, you can get appointments, find out the locations, go get tested, and get your results in less than 48 hours. That's gogettested.com. Now, the DHEC Care Line is available for information on organizing a COVID screening at your event or in your neighborhood, plus info on testing, transportation to get a test, and the COVID vaccine. Speaking of transportation, if you live in Richland or Clarendon County and are immobile or know someone who is, those two counties' paramedics are actually doing in-home COVID screenings. Call 911 for more information. The DHEC vaccine line is up and running. They actually have a phone number and website that you can call if you have questions about the COVID-19 vaccine or if you need help finding vaccine providers. Again, you can see the number and the website on the screen, and all of this information will be scrolling throughout the show. COVID vaccines are also being held at Lexington Medical Center. You can see that information right there for folks who are, of course, 65 and older. You saw that graphic also. Thank you, Lauren, that those folks are eligible, folks that are 65 and older. Also, the VA is having COVID testings. You can actually go to the VA and get your COVID test. Again, that information is up on the screen. But the VA is also holding a vaccination clinic Monday from 7:30 a.m. until 4 p.m. Again, vets ages 65 and older should call to schedule their appointment, but the vaccination day will be held Monday at Colonial Life Arena. A couple of other locations are offering COVID vaccinations. 2 stores, Kroger grocery stores, are offering COVID vaccinations. You can visit their pharmacy at the locations on the screen. And CVS, their pharmacies, are also offering COVID vaccination. Again, check the screen for more information if you are in the eligible group to get your COVID vaccine. Now, the South Carolina Bar Association and SC Legal Services offer a toll-free number and website for rental and mortgage help. Plus, the NAACP has a housing assistance program also. You can see that information on the screen. Also, if you want to find out about their Housing Navigator program, they actually have folks available to talk to you and give you various resources. Another resource is the City of Columbia Water Department. They are offering a 6-month payment plan if you're behind on the bill. They also have payment assistance up to 75%. Now, folks still working and learning virtually, and Rashonda Pratt has a YouTube channel that is specifically dedicated to working and learning from home. Go over to YouTube and please subscribe to Rashonda Pratt's YouTube channel. Central Carolina Community Foundation has over $3 million in scholarships available for students and adults. Check the screen for information and visit the website to apply. And the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, open enrollment starts again Monday, February 15th through May 15. Go to healthcare.org to see if you qualify for assistance and to get some health insurance. And check out Coping with COVID next week. We'll talk to Rosalind Goodwin. She's with the South Carolina Hospital Association. She'll give us more information about open enrollment. Once again, that's something that President Joe Biden kicked back into effect because so many people don't have health insurance. You can apply between February 15th, beginning Monday, and May 15th. You're watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. We are streaming live on the Tailor Made production page. Would you please go over there and hit like and share? Not only will you be able to watch Coping with COVID Wednesday through Friday, and then, of course, we have our special shows every first Monday with George Wallace, and we've got a special show tomorrow. I'll tell you more about that. And you can also get all of your COVID-related updates. We're also streaming live on YouTube. Want to say hi to everybody on YouTube and ask you, if you are watching live, would you please go over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button? I would love for you to do that. Go ahead and do that. Want to remind you to please post and share this information out so we can get the message to the masses, because coming up next, we have got an amazing interview with Chris I Am Leven. He is a singer, songwriter who has made it in the music industry. He has toiled and tried and done his thing. We're going to hear some of his music and hear his story. That's coming up next on Coping with COVID. I'm Tre Tailor.
Coping with COVID. Updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC. Healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
This flu season arrives during the COVID-19 pandemic. Groups at risk for serious illness from COVID-19 and flu are similar, but complications from flu are much higher in young children. Everyone over 6 months of age should get a flu shot to help prevent more illnesses, hospitalizations, and deaths in South Carolina.
The flu is not just a cold. Each year, many South Carolinians are hospitalized from the flu and even die.
Getting the flu vaccine is the best protection against the flu for everyone in your family.
The flu vaccine is safe, effective, and does not cause the flu.
You can make a difference this flu season by protecting yourself from the flu.
It's important that I protect my baby.
It's important that we protect our families.
It's important that we protect our schools.
And our students.
It's important.
It's important.
It's important.
It's important that we protect our state.
Talk to your healthcare provider, pharmacist, or health department about the flu vaccine today.
Every cookie sold in the Girl Scout Cookie Program helps girls learn lifelong lessons in people skills, decision-making, and goal-setting. It's amazing how much you can learn from a cookie.
Celebrating Black History Month. Coping with COVID presents African Americans in the White House.
Lloyd James Austin III is the first African American Secretary of Defense. The Georgia native is a retired 4-star Army general and previously served as the United States Secretary of Defense. Austin was the 12th and first African American commander of the United States Central Command and has been named the first African American Secretary of Defense. Lloyd James Austin is a Black history maker in the White House.
Celebrating Black History Month. Coping with COVID presents African Americans in the White House. From Tailor-Made Productions.
One of the most amazing singer-songwriters that I have come to know in my whole life is here with us today. Leven, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Listen, I've been a fan for a long time, and we've known each other, gosh, has it been over 10 years now? Because I don't know how old you are. I know how old I am, but I don't know how old
I am either.
Ah! Yeah, it's that artist thing. It's that gray artist age thing.
Yeah.
But listen, you've always been such an amazing singer. We're going to hear some of Leven's songs a little bit later, but tell me how you got interested in music.
I grew up in a very diverse household. My dad's Jamaican. So I grew up around a lot of Bob Marley and Beres Hammond, singers like that. And then my mom, she just had a really eclectic taste growing up in New York. So I heard everything from hip hop to pop. I remember hearing, everything from, old soul like Luther Vandross and Stevie Wonder, Aretha Franklin, and Anita Baker, all the way up to, Nas and Jay-Z and even bands like Annie Lennox.
Yeah.
This is very diverse. I heard pop, I heard a little bit of everything, and so that inspired me to want to play music first. So I started playing music first, and then that inspired me to want to sing.
Did you take piano lessons, or are you self-taught?
I was self-taught for the first, I would say, maybe 7 years of my playing. And then I started taking lessons when I got to Claflin University. That was the first time I took a lesson.
Okay. And then how did you develop your own style? Because you have such a smooth, sultry style. You have such a beautiful voice.
Thank you. I feel like I've been able to find my sound now. It's taken me some time, and I think a lot of it came from just being inspired by jazz. Very inspired.
Because you have a very jazzy sound. Even then, you have a very jazzy sound.
Very inspired by like Nat King Cole, Sarah Vaughan, those classic type of singers. So that really shaped my sound and shaped the way I wanted to kind of finesse my voice with my music.
Yeah, we're talking to Leven. He is a regional, and I won't say local. He lives in the local area, but he's done so much outside of the area. And we are going to come back and talk to him about how he pivoted from being a singer-songwriter to being a producer. Coming up next, we're going to hear a little bit of my favorite song, My Funny Valentine, which I had to say to him. This is a picture of he and I singing My Funny Valentine. Again, this is a long, long time ago in downtown Columbia, but this is one of my favorite songs from I Am Leven.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Jerome. I would first off like to thank the amazing Tre Tailor for allowing me your platform to share my gift. This month is Black History Month, so let us take time to remember our ancestors, remember and embrace where we came from and also where we're going. At the same time, this also is society's month for Valentine's Day, Day for Love. So let us use this time for love to embrace the love of our heritage, embrace the love of our ourselves, our Black love. And I would like to just start off by singing one of my favorite jazz tunes, which is My Funny Valentine. My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile with my heart, my heart. Your looks are laughable, unphotographable, yet you're my favorite work of art. Oh, is your figure less than Greek? Is your mouth a little weak when you open it to speak? Are you smart, but don't change a hair for me. Not if you care for me. Stay, little Valentine's, stay. Each day is Valentine's Day.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Like I said, one of my favorite songs, My Funny Valentine, by Levin. So you were here in the Columbia area, kind of singing and playing and doing gigs. When did it shift to your doing more producing and even songwriting for other folks?
So I always loved production. That was my first love before even performing. And I believe the year was 2014. I was doing a lot of shows around town. Like Wet Willies. We did Mint. We did Group 77, Blue. And I kind of got burned out because, as a performer, it's like a wind-up show kind of. You got to wind up that personality. And
Yeah.
I'm more of a laid back, very chill type of guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found that my passion was in helping people who wanted to be artists bring the best out of them through their music and through their writing. And so I took more of a joy doing that. And then I found that I got to work with a lot of younger artists and help cultivating their sound and their style. And it just, that for me was my passion. So I like performing. I like doing the artist thing, but more importantly, I love helping to bring another artist's vision to life. I feel like that's more my passion.
Yeah. So tell us about some of the things that you've been doing, because you've been traveling too, right, Levin? Doing what you love.
Yeah, so it really how it really started for me was I just went on a whim and I drove to Atlanta one day and I literally called every studio I could think of. And
wow.
It just so happened that probably the most reputable studio in Atlanta was the one that contacted me back, and they told me to apply, and I ended up interviewing with pretty much the lady. Her name is Molly Hunter. She's an amazing celebrity chef and pretty much a celebrity in her own right. She interviewed me, and I ended up interning at Tree Sound Studios, which is one of the top studios in the country.
Right.
And, I didn't realize where I was at. I realized it because you see all the platinum plaques of, Whitney Houston and Elton John and, all these huge names.
Yeah.
It didn't hit me until I want to say my fourth day interning in the office. And I literally walked out of the office and bumped right into Neo. And it's just like, oh, wow. Like, this is where I'm at. So, and then that became a regular thing where I had to get used to seeing celebrities, every day pretty much that I was interning there. So that kind of jump started everything from there. And then just networking in Atlanta, I found a lot of amazing independent artists who were doing their thing, and they just took a liking to me. And and that's kind of what I've been doing is just networking with those artists and working on their projects. And that has led me to pretty much be all over the Southeast region.
Wow. Wow. So you just kind of stepped out on faith. This really was a step out on faith moment for you, Chris, Levin, that you just went to Atlanta and just started calling studios. Now, when you were calling the studios, what were you hoping to get? Because you ended up getting an internship. What were you looking for?
That was what I was looking for. Any way in which I could help. I remember calling certain students and say, hey, I will, I'll get your coffee. I'll clean up. I just want to be in an environment where I can learn and grow. I'll be an assistant. And so I didn't, I wasn't asking for a handout, like, give me a job. I knew I needed to learn and grow.
Right.
And I knew I had a skill that was useful, but I was willing to learn anything I needed to in an environment that was going to help take me to the next level.
Yeah.
Columbia is a great home base, a great foundation, but Atlanta, it's the music industry. It has that moving and shaking type of feel to it. And so I felt like I needed to transition there just a little bit for networking purposes to get my business to the next level.
In addition to the networking, what else did you learn at Treehouse?
Wow. So I never thought I would fall into the sound engineer category. I've always recorded, I've always tracked people's songs as a producer of their beats. But I never thought I would actually be the one to sit and actually start mixing their music. So Tree Sound, it really kind of opened up a few doors for me to understand what that process was like. And then there were actually a few things I didn't know, opportunities that I didn't know were going to fall in my lap. One day we were filming a couple segments for A&E. They were doing biographies, and Molly came to me and she said, I have a test for you. This will be your test. She said, I need you to write a bio on The Weeknd, the artist.
Yeah.
And you have 25 minutes and it's going over here. And so I'm literally like typing up this bio, and she comes in the office and she's like, you killed it. And apparently they had some PAs from A&E that couldn't even do it. And so I ended up getting a credit for a segment on A&E. So
awesome.
Opportunities like that I didn't, just fell into my lap, So it was just a blessing being in the building every day and being around the energy of all these platinum records that have been recorded here.
Yeah. And you know what? That is the key to, I think, believing in your dream, stepping out on faith, because even though you may not have gotten paid financially, what you gained was priceless.
Priceless.
Yeah. 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 And those are the kind of things we have to really be conscious of and conscientious of when we are following our dream, feeling like we want to do something. And listen, it's in the entertainment industry as well as any other industry, banking industry, restaurant industry, food service or whatever. You've got to sometimes take that step of faith and recognize what the opportunity can give you. This may not be the financial thing, but what will it give you to get you to that place?
Yes, exactly. Charlemagne the God, he said something very powerful. He said that a lot of people will miss out on an opportunity because it doesn't put money in their pocket.
Right.
And you sometimes living your dreams, actually most of the time living your dreams is about sacrifice. You have to make some sacrifices. You have to give to get, and you have to kind of weigh your sacrifices. And when you're living your dreams, sometimes money is the biggest sacrifice. If you believe in your craft, your skill, or your talent, that will take you further along than just kind of chasing for the money.
Well, Charlemagne is a perfect example. When he left, and I was here in radio in Columbia when he was in radio working at Hot. And when he got put on by Wendy, he wasn't getting paid to go to New York and work on the show. He wasn't getting paid at first, but look where it got him. You know what I mean? Look where it got him. So yeah, you are so correct. Leven joins us. He is a singer, songwriter, producer, engineer, and he's just telling us about his faith journey and how it happened for him, and it can happen for you too. We're going to take a break and hear another song, No Ordinary Love, Sade. What's your feelings about Sade? This is a great tune by her.
I remember being 4 or 5 years old and my older family members playing the cassette tape. So her voice always, it's embedded in my subconscious from a very, very young age. And so her music heavily influences my sound and me appreciating kind of like the warmth in my voice and kind of like the sultriness in it. So she, her energy is just surrounding almost everything that I do, just from hearing her from a young age.
All right, Ordinary Love by I Am Leven. I'm Tre Tailor. You're watching Coping.
So we're going to do this one like this. Yeah. Yeah. I gave you all the love I got. I gave you more than I could give. I gave you love. I gave you more than I had inside, and you took my love. You took my love. Did I tell you what I believe? Did somebody say that a love like that won't last? Did I give you all that I've got to give, baby? I gave you all the love I
God, I gave you more than I could give. I gave you love. I gave you all that I had inside, and you took my love. You took my love. I keep crying. I keep trying for you. There's nothing like you and I, baby. This is no ordinary love. No ordinary love. This is no ordinary love. No ordinary love. Didn't I tell you what I believe? Did somebody say that a love like that won't last? Didn't I give you all that I've got to give, baby? This is no ordinary love. No ordinary love. Yeah. This is no ordinary love. No ordinary love. This is no ordinary love. No, no. This is no ordinary love. No ordinary love. Yeah. This is no ordinary love. No ordinary love.
That was No Ordinary Love by Sade, and Levin gave us his interpretation of it. I'm Tre Tailor. You're watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic, information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. And we are highlighting and spotlighting one of my favorite singer-songwriters, Levin. He's from right here, but he has ended up doing so many things nationally and internationally, doing what he loves. And, you know, how many times, Levin, can we say we are doing what we love? How blessed, how fortunate are you to be able to say that?
Look, I mean, I have to count my blessings every day, you know, and I had to change my mindset. A lot of times we wake up in the morning, we say, I have to do this, I have to do this. But I've tried changing that to say, I get to do this.
Yeah.
You know, because
that's good.
It's a blessing to even, you know, we look at some of the things that we do as tasks because they just become a little redundant or mundane. But when you realize that we have breath in our body, you know, a lot of times we have a skill that people want and they look for us for this particular thing. It should give us a little sense of pride in the fact that we really get to live the lives that we want to live, and that we're blessed and called to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you say, I get to do this. I have the opportunity. I'm blessed to do this. I get the chance to do this. You know, I think when we say it differently, it changes our perspective to realize just how fortunate we are. Tell us what you're up to now with everything that you've been able to do. What are you doing now?
So right now, I'm doing a little bit of everything. I'm in school. So I'm actually a Call Me Mr. student. As a part of my journey, I've realized how important education is and educating the youth and being a Black educator, how important that is. So I wanted to get that under my belt because I feel like I'm called to be in the education field as well and hopefully marry music and education.
That's right.
And then, you know, a part of me also sees where society is going as far as technology. So I've actually started learning how to code. I have a certification in web design, but I want to take that further and start building apps, start learning how, apps are engineered and how we can use apps and technology to better our lives. So I'm learning how to make that a part of my business as well. So my hands are in a lot of little pots, as well as, my clientele has kind of skyrocketed when it comes to being a mixing engineer. So I have a lot of projects on the table that have allowed me to travel to Miami frequently, to Atlanta frequently, and be in some amazing studios that have recorded platinum records. One of the studios that I've been in Atlanta, in Miami, that I get to record out of, they've mixed diamond records, selling 10 million copies or more.
Right.
So just being around that energy has been awesome. But I always say that in this moment of my life, the talent that I'm working on the most is time management.
Oh man, look, me too.
So many things to do, and sometimes you feel like it's not enough time.
Not enough time, yeah. But we get the same 24 hours as everybody else. But I tell you, that's tough. But you know what? It's because you're creative, and I'm a creative too. And I know for me, I don't know about for you, I don't think I realize how long it takes to do certain things. I think, oh, it's just going to take 10 minutes. And it's gonna take 2 hours, you know what I mean? So, especially if you got a little ADD and you start doing something in your mind, the channel changes on your mind and you start doing something else. But look, if you find out how to manage time better, please let me know.
I don't text you back right away. But that's not my mind, not my heart.
So, Levin, tell me, not only being in the music industry is, that's a big thing. That is something that is so, and people hear about it and read about it, how backbiting it is, how hard it is, how challenging it is. But I just think when we are trying to do what thus say the Lord, we encounter some challenges. And with the challenge, we have to even deal with our own insecurities and things that have happened in our life. How have you been able to push through that to still continue to pursue, follow, and succeed in your dreams and goals?
I can honestly say that anytime I get down on myself, God makes it abundantly clear and surrounds me with so many beautiful messages and reassurances that I'm on the right path. One time in particular that I can remember, I was literally in the supermarket. I was in Trader Joe's right there in Forest Drive, and just shopping. And this lady who I've never met, she was an older Black woman. She had approached me and she started, just really rubbing my arm. And I thought it was to get my attention at first, but her arm, the way she was rubbing my arm, it was almost like a caressing, like a consoling.
Oh, wow.
And and she didn't stop. And I instantly just kind of like froze. And she said something very chilling to me. She said, there's something that's trying to take you out, that's trying to take your life.
Wow.
And I'm here to tell you that God will not allow it.
Wow.
And I instantly broke into tears because everything that I was going through in my life, I was just in a really bad car accident. I was hit by a drunk driver.
Oh my God.
I had went through a really bad food poisoning. And I just started this internship in Atlanta. And so I was back and forth. I was kind of pretty much living out of my car. Her saying that, and praying for me and testifying for me in the supermarket, it was like she was so close to God. It was like she pulled me out of my physical reality into like this place of Blackness. And she was just praying like over me and pouring into me. And, she was telling me, reassuring me that God knew exactly who I was, that my message was powerful. She even said that I had been here before, and that, no man, no evil force, nothing would be able to stop me. Every paper I needed signed would be signed. Every deed that I needed done would be done. And she just told me to, recommit my life to God. And, she asked me if I was in the church, and I said I hadn't found a spiritual home. And she said, make sure you find one. And I didn't quite understand, I took it like, I need to get back in church. But I realized that the space I was going into, she was called to say that because I needed people around me praying for me. I needed, I'm supposed to go into places that we consider dark or bad places, and I'm supposed to keep my light and going to these places with, you know, that cover, that divine coverage. So that I'll never forget that moment. I'll never forget that you know, the lady who said those things, because, you know, that showed me that God is with me on my path. So if I ever doubted, or, you know, ever had a moment of you know, where I wasn't sure about myself, I can always go back to that moment and pull from that and know that, you know, God has called me to do something great, and it's going to take a little bit more patience from me and diligence to just stay on this path and keep going.
Wow, that's so powerful, because he'll bring you what you need when you need it.
That's true.
He'll bring you what you need when you need it. I mean, whether it's a person, like you said, your angel, she was your angel at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's what we read, what we hear, we just have to be conscientious enough to realize, okay, God, I hear you. You know what I mean? I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about some of the things you're working on.
I'm super excited. Lately, I have spent the last few months back and forth between Colombia and Miami.
Oh, wow.
So I have a client in Miami. She's actually the goddaughter of Betty Wright.
Oh,
and
cleanup woman.
Yeah, yes. She had the amazing pleasure of growing up with Betty Wright as her spiritual mom, and also as her songwriting coach.
Oh, wow.
So she had been she was coached for Betty Wright for you know, some years, and she's a very shy girl. So she's a very new artist. No one's ever heard of her or seen her yet, and I'm kind of her Timberland right now. I'm helping produce for her and bring her out of her shell. But she's so spiritually led to do this, because before Betty Wright passed away, she calls her Miss B. So I feel like I almost have to call her Miss B, because she tells amazing stories about Miss Betty Wright. But
oh, wow.
She said before Miss Betty Wright passed, she told her that it was time for her to really put her music out, and that Lizzo had opened up a doorway for her. So not to be conscious about, you know, her maybe not having the typical, you know, look or the typical sound. And you know, and we just had a spiritual connection, because we came together like right at the same time. So as Miss B passed away, you know, she kind of went through a depression, and then I kind of came in and started building up her confidence in her music and her sound. And now we have this amazing relationship. So I'm working on 2 EPs with her, and, you know, and probably many more past that. But I mean, I just love the fact that she's never been in the studio. She doesn't know how any of this works. So sometimes I'll say music jargon that goes completely over her head, but I love how like wet behind the ears she is, and she's so open and willing to grow. And that to me is the joy in what I do. Helping build other artists. So, and then her story is inspiring, and she's surrounded by so many amazing people with amazing connections. So it's almost like it's written for her. She just has to come out of her box, and you know, things will really fall into place for her.
Awesome. So when should we be hearing from her? And what's her name? Can you say what her name is?
So her name, she has 2 names, because she's 2 different artists. One is Lady, and then one is Miracle. So Miracle is her more like kind of rap side, and Lady is more of her ballad, like R&B ballad type of side. So we're working on very contrasting sounds. I would say some of the sounds would put you in the mind of like a Lil' Kim, and then some of the other sounds might put you in the feel of like an Aaliyah.
Oh, wow.
So so it's giving you like a nice, like really nice both ends of the spectrum type of vibe. So but she, hopefully the goal is that we'll finish her lead single by May, and then we'll start putting out the songs from there. So I'm super excited to at the chance to really go to Miami and work in some of the studios that we've been in, and help her put her project together.
Awesome. I love that you are going to market her in both genres, you know, so it can be wide open, because you never know, you know, where it's going to hit. That's good stuff. That's exciting.
Yeah. Yep. So, and it's great, because, you know, a lot of the songs that she's singing to me were songs that she wrote under the direction of Miss Betty Wright.
Wright, yeah.
To know that these songs were approved by such a legend and talent, and to know that I'm like, you know, that 1 degree away from a legend, it you know, it just shows me once again, God showing me that I'm on that right path.
And you know, I'm gonna say this, Betty Wright, a lot of people don't recognize she was more than just Tonight Is the Night and Cleanup Woman. She did so many other things musically. You know, she was just a great writer, producer kind of person. So that's
and a lot of people don't know this either. I've just been blessed to hear so many stories of her, but she was a spiritual mom to a lot of people.
Oh wow.
You know, P. Diddy, you know, Usher, they could call her anytime and she would pray for them.
Oh wow.
And so I didn't know that either, but she had a reputation in the industry for being a spiritual mom, and she was a woman of God, and people called her for prayer and she would pray for them.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Betty Wright.
very spiritual woman.
Yeah.
Rest in power. Rest in power.
Absolutely. Peace and power, Betty Wright. Tell us about your nonprofit. I know you're working on a nonprofit too.
Yes. So, you know, through my experiences working with the youth, I realized how much of, you know, how many tools that I have that I can use to give back. And so, you know, within the next few years, I'm working on, a lot of it is going to be contingent upon me working my way through the Call Me Mr. program. And I can use that to pretty much infiltrate the school systems and really use my love for music and my knowledge of the entertainment industry to create opportunities for the underserved youth that we have in our community, especially young Black men who I can relate to, but all children who want to get into the music industry or want to do something in music. I can provide them with tools, whether it be, you know, having access to a studio or having access to different events, and just really helping them see, you know, what are the ins and outs and if it's a career that they really want to get into.
Right. Oh, that's great. So you're working on launching that. Do you have like a timeline?
So my projection is looking at it'll be about 3 to 5 years. About 3 to 5 years before launching that. But I'm in the works of getting my team together, getting my ideas and my financial plans together in order to make that work. And then kind of testing out the different youth that I've been meeting in the community, testing out kind of my mentorship. How I stand and deliver as an actual leader, as a role model for the people that I've been meeting.
Tell us about the song Vanilla. We're getting ready to close out with that song.
So Vanilla, it was a song. It was funny because I had a day where I was just making a bunch of beats just for my catalog and to send out. And I made this one particular production and it just kept sitting with me. And I said, you know, I'm gonna write something to this. And normally words just come to me. So the word vanilla came to me and I just sat on it. And I started looking up, you know, what does it mean? And there was some things that said it meant abundance. And then somebody said something very powerful to me. They said, vanilla is a flavor that when you pair it with anything, it enhances it. Mm-hmm. And that instantly made me think of Black people. And when I thought of vanilla, I said, wait a minute, every time I've seen vanilla, it's been Black. Like when we eat it as like an icing or we see vanilla cake, we see white. But it led me to do more research, and then I realized that vanilla actually is Black. When it's the vanilla bean is Black, you know, the extract is Black.
It's Black, yeah. That's
the stock is Black. And then I found out that the first time vanilla was ever used as a flavor was by a French Black slave. He actually created that as a flavor in the 1800s. But because the Queen, people loved it so much, they didn't want them to know that it was created by a slave. So they changed his race to white. So people thought it was a Black person. But vanilla as a flavor was actually first used by a Black slave and first cultivated by the Aztecs. So vanilla is truly Black.
Well, we're getting ready to close out our interview by listening to your original song, Vanilla. If people want more information about you, Leven, to contact you, whether it be a gig or about mixing or about what you're doing in the community for our young people, tell us how we can do that.
So I am on Facebook. I'm pretty active, and you can reach me on Facebook. Just look up I Am Leven. I am is just one word, and then Leven, Leven. And then on Instagram, you can also find me by my band name. But on Instagram, it's Yah, as in YAH _Rome, ROME. So you can find me on Instagram. And then my email is IamLevinLLC@gmail.com.
All right.
You can also reach me via email.
All of that information is up on the screen, so check it out. Check I Am Leven out, and check out his original song, Vanilla. It is amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. Good luck to you. God bless. Whatever you need, I'm here for you, darling.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
So this is an original song. This song is called Vanilla. And the message of this song is so that we know, vanilla is really black. Because it is. And if you didn't know, anything that you pair vanilla with, it enhances it, just like black people, just like melanated people all across the world. So this song hopefully will get people to just embrace their heritage, embrace who they are, embrace the original. Because you can't take away from the original, no matter how hard you try. Nor can you duplicate it. Hold me down like 5, 9 to 5s, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Always needed by my side. It help me focus, help me come alive. And I know he still realist, tastes like vanilla. The game is mine, boss it down like a swisher. Shout out to the dealer, know I'm a feeling. Can't touch a price, we got the best supply. Cause we do. Pure vanilla skies, yeah, that's on my mind, yeah. Soon as we hit Friday, find that supply. It's a vibe for the people, a weekend sport. Gonna hit you like every other weekend song. And I know history list ain't power tripping. Some lie, this is facts, not opinions. Shout out to the dealer, got no competition. I know the game is mine. Shout out to the supply. We rolling like a tide. You know that it's a vibe. Yeah, yeah. Said said hi. We're taking it higher. We're taking it higher. Higher. And I know history list tastes like vanilla. The game is mine, boss it down like a swisher. Shout down to the dealer, got no competition. The game is mine, shout out to the supply. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. So this is just a little snippet of the full rock out version. If you really like this song, or if you want to hear more of it, definitely go to any place where music is streaming, whether it be Apple, Tidal Music, Spotify, and look up Vanilla by Jarome, Jahrome. And when you listen to it, remember that vanilla is black. We're just playing around because I did not bring my sustain pedal to the function. So we... Yeah. Yeah. We taking it higher.
We taking it higher, higher.
Yeah, wasn't that amazing? That's I Am Leven on coping with COVID. You see his information on the screen. If you want more information, please contact him. I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you so much for watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. I want to thank everybody for watching. Listen, if you have a story or initiative that could help someone cope with COVID, please go to the Tailor Made production page on Facebook and inbox me. I would love to talk to you about how to feature you or your product or your initiative. Now, if you do have a product or initiative that can help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtreitailor@gmail.com. The information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We would love to hook you up and have you be a sponsor, just like SCDHEC, the City of Columbia, Office of Business Opportunities, also Palmetto Media Connections, and Agape Counseling and Training Center. As a matter of fact, if you're having some challenges coping with COVID, please contact the folks at Agape Counseling and Training Center. Now, next Wellness Wednesday, how pets can help you stay healthy. Thursday, Shirley Lou will help us get our money right. And then we'll talk to Rosalind Goodwin with the Hospital Association about Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, open enrollment. It's happening again. And we'll talk to Roz next week. And then Faith Friday with Raquel Richardson Thomas. You've got to hear this story about this sister who was beaten, put in foster care, and then ended up just coming from such a crazy background, an unfortunate background, to owning 5 successful businesses before the age of 30. That's next Friday on Coping with COVID. Now, tomorrow, we've got a very special show. That's right. It's a conversation with single Black men over 40. We've got Mike Love, who used to be in the Columbia, South Carolina market of the Big DM. He is a Dallas-based syndicator. Also, Rick Joyner, who's also another brother in the Atlanta area. He's also in broadcasting. Attorney John Whittleton will join us. Also, Ronald Brumsey and Mike Walker, who has a widely successful Facebook group, Single Black Christians. He is going to join us also. That's tomorrow at 6 p.m., a special Valentine's Day edition of Coping with COVID. Before we go to Jesus Calling, I want to remind you about something that is going to actually happen Tuesday. It is a conversation about the inequities of African Americans as far as healthcare is concerned. It's Black Health Matters, and it's going to happen Thursday. I said it's next Wednesday. It's going to happen Thursday, February 18th at 7 o'clock. You see the information on the screen. Please find out all about it. Log on to with the meeting ID and check out this Black Health Matters conversation. Join the discussion about the importance of COVID-19 on the Black community. That's next Thursday at 7 p.m. As always, I leave you with a reading from Jesus Calling. Today, Jesus says, I am ever so near you, hovering over your shoulder, reading every thought. People think that thoughts are fleeting and worthless, but yours are precious to me, Jesus says. I smile when you think lovingly of me. My spirit who lives within you helps you think my thoughts. As your thinking goes, so goes your entire being. Let me be your positive focus, Jesus says. When you look to me, knowing me as God with you, you experience joy. This is according to my ancient design. When I first crafted man, modern man seeks his positive focus elsewhere in sports, sensations, acquiring new possessions. Advertising capitalizes on the longing for people for a positive focus in their lives. I planted that longing in human souls, knowing that I could only satisfy it. Delight yourself in me. Let me become the desires of your heart, because my peace is like a shaft of golden light shining on you continuously. That's your Jesus Calling for today, February 12th. I'm Tre Tailor. Thank you so much for joining us. Mitchell Peace Joy Jen mentioned the event that I just mentioned. She says, please join us for this discussion. That is the bit.ly link if you want to check out the discussion. Again, that's Thursday. It's a conversation about Black health and how COVID is affecting it. That's next Thursday. Hey, can we throw that graphic back up? Don't forget to check that out on Thursday. I'm Tre Tailor. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. Until the next time, I wish you peace and abundant blessings. Please don't forget to be safe, be careful, and wear your mask over your nose and under your chin. See you tomorrow.
Coping with COVID. Updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC. Healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.